I have spent the last 2 years trying to get my OBS settings correct, and I finally cracked it. And instead of being a gatekeeper, I'm going to share them with you. So I am on a MacBook Pro M3. That's important because some of these settings are not going to be relevant to you. So if you're not running a MacBook, have no interest in running this on a MacBook, I mean, you can stay and hang out, but it may not be helpful. Anyway, so we're going to run through these settings. We're not going to explain all the settings because you're not going to need to know. We're just going to figure them out and get it done because that's what I wished existed. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, let's get to the video settings. Okay, so you're going to go down. We're going to click on settings. Okay, and then we're going to go to video. You're going to want to make sure that your base canvas resolution here matches the output scaled resolution. Because if these things don't match, your computer is working extra hard to match those. Downscale, upscale, whichever ones you have them. So make sure they match. And most importantly, make sure that this base canvas matches the resolution of the computer that you're on. Very important. Okay, so now that we have that, also make sure that this FPS value, I have mine set at 30. It works. I don't need it set any higher. I am not recording myself sprinting. This is frames per second. So the more frames you have, the more smooth of a video you're going to get. But again, if you're not sprinting or capturing anything fast, you don't need a lot of frames per second. So 30 is just fine. Moving on. So let's go to output. We're not streaming, we're recording. So go to recording. Make this advanced. Great. Make sure that your recording format is set to fragmented MP4. Make sure that your video encoder is set to Apple VT-H264 hardware encoder. Great. Moving on. This is where I always messed up and got super stuck. Okay? Your encoder settings. You want to make sure you click down, and this is CRF. Click CRF. You want to crank this up as high as you can. Now remember, the higher that you crank this, the bigger the video file is going to be. Just keep this in mind. You can have this like 50, give or take, but again, the lower the lower this number is, the worse quality you're going to get. I just crank it all the way up to 100 at this point because I don't care. I just want a nice video. Okay, so now that we have that, we can actually move on to audio. Very important. Okay, so the number one thing you need to do here, if you have an external mic, and I do, I have this Shure MV7 Plus. It's a very nice mic. Turns out I was having a lot of drifting when I was recording because I was trying to record two microphones and not on purpose. So you need to go into audio and you need to make sure all of these are disabled. So once you've done that, you can click out of here. All right. So then you're going to go into your audio input capture. Great, that's there. Let's check on that. Properties. Great. So see how I have this as Shure Drift? We need to open your audio MIDI settings. Literally, you're going to go into your Searchlight, Spotlight, whatever the hell it's called, and search audio MIDI, MIDI, and it should pop up. Okay. Then you're going to click the little plus button down here and see how I've got Shure Drift. Great. What we're solving here is that when you go to record on OBS on Mac, you tend to get like this little bit of delay. So it's like you're watching a really old dubbed video and it's terrible to watch. So we want to click add, and then you're going to click the microphone that you're using, click drift correction, and then just click here, rename it so you know what you named it. Done with that. Moving that to the side. And then that is the microphone that you want to add, not The actual microphone, Shure MV7 Plus, no, you want to add the Shure Drift. That's why I named it, because that's what it's fixing. Shure Drift. Great. All right. So once you've selected that, you're going to click these three little dots here. You're going to go down to Advanced Audio Properties, not Properties. Okay. And then you're going to see this sync offset, very important. And then you're going to set that to 200 milliseconds. This could be plus or minus, but 200 milliseconds was a sweet spot. I sent these settings to a friend. They fixed his. So I highly recommend starting at 200 milliseconds. It should solve that syncing problem. Hit close. And then from here, you should have a really nice OBS setup that has a crisp picture and a good sound, and you're good to go. And you won't be searching for 2 years on how to do it. Thank goodness. Anyway, if you like this video, subscribe for more, and we'll chat soon.